Greetings and salutations, dear viewers, and welcome to Fragment Friday. So, this has been generally just a really busy week, and the last day or two have not been emotionally the best days. And today I just feel like crap. So, I'll just come out with that straight up. So, going into today, feeling not amazing, and the game that was coming up today, sorry also that we're starting a little bit late, I was getting ready to start and then I realized A, I forgot to upload today's video, and B, I forgot to actually prep the stream, so I had to get the wheel and everything set up. So had a lot of prep to do at like the last second. Anyway. So, the game that we spun for and won last week was The Grey Garden. And I want to really apologize for this because this was me not paying enough attention. But The Grey Garden is not a game that I'm especially comfortable playing. I didn't pay enough attention because I had assumed it was either The Witness or... Crap, I can't remember the other game. There's like two games that are kind of like wandering around puzzle gamey like, and I thought it was one of those. It wasn't until that I started prepping for it just earlier today that I thought that I looked into it and I saw, oh, that's what this is. So I do want to apologize for that. So because I'm not especially comfortable streaming the game, what I want to do is I think it was Spectre that suggested the game. Spectre, any game that you do want me to play instead, I'm happy to set up for. And if I can set it up quickly, I'll play it today. Otherwise, we will play it next week. Tangle Tower is already on the wheel. Are you alright with that? I can probably just keep it on the wheel anyway, really. Because like this game had like $50 towards it on the wheel. So I don't want to take away from that. So for the record, with the Grey Garden, the issue, I guess, is mechanically it is just a JRPG. It's an RPG Maker game. The issue is the topics and content that it covers, which at face value it's a very cute, very adorable game, but it also deals with some very much heavier, more serious subjects, and I feel like it's the nature of the game is the nature of really wanting to get you emotionally attached and invested in it so that they can for lack of a better word, use shock value to hit your emotions even harder than they would normally be hit later on. Because there is an amount of, like... there is an amount of, like, blood, violence, even gore, to an extent, in the game for being that cute. And granted, it's minimal, but I can tell what kind of game it's trying to be, and it's not a game that I'm comfortable playing. Again, it's like, in the grand scheme of things, it's minimal, but I can tell what it's trying to do. And especially right now, given my current mental state, especially now, I'm just not comfortable playing it. Yeah, pretty tame by comparison. Yeah, it's pretty tame by comparison, which, like, on one hand, that doesn't make the Grey Garden not what it is, but it is also good to keep in mind where the game's developers are coming from when the vast majority of what they make is leagues worse. So again, it just kind of tells you where they're coming from and kind of what you're getting yourself into. Anyway, so Tangle Tower? Tangle Tower was the suggestion. So let's look at a Tangle Tower then. Okay, so Tangle Tower, it's just on Steam. Good reviews. I can get it right now. I think it's small. How big is it? It should say somewhere what the file size is, shouldn't it? 550 megs. We should be able to install that reasonably easily. Yeah, and something else to keep in mind, Spectre, is what I'm personally comfortable with. And there are things that I don't want on the stream, and there's things that I'm just personally not comfortable seeing or experiencing. And I think for me personally, that one hits a little more towards me personally not being comfortable with it than it is not comfortable to stream, if that makes sense. Okay, I'll go ahead and dive into this one then. And get this going. Yeah, and yeah, for absolutely sure. And that's kind of why I want to emphasize that it's not even a I'm not comfortable streaming it thing. It's more a me personally, I'm not comfortable playing it. Is that it's not even something that I would be scared to, like, show everyone else, to show other people what's going on. So entirely, that's something that they can make the judgment call for themselves as to whether or not they like. It's a me thing, not a general audience thing. Okay, so that's downloading. It's in this list somewhere. I need to get rid of like 90% of my... I need to get rid of 90% of my Steam games. They need to change the friggin' thing so I can find stuff again. I used to be able to find it in the old Steam page. I can't find anything here. Yeah, it kind of similar to Labyrinth of Refrain. The beginning of Labyrinth of Refrain was fine, but kind of as the game went on, it kind of was sort of a similar thing, I think. Yeah, and again, I'm sorry that I didn't. I'm sorry that I wasn't paying more attention. Because again, I thought it was like The Witness or something. So I didn't even think about it or look into it or anything. Yeah, A Rose in Twilight. Is that the game Raocow played not too long ago? Because if it is, I think I saw about the first couple minutes of that one, and then thought like, you know what? I'm sure this is fun, but this is not a me game. Like, I think A Rose in Twilight is actually, just given that, like, in the first couple minutes I went, nope, not a me game, I think that game, by itself, pretty well summarizes the kind of thing that I'm uncomfortable with. That's a weird resolution. Okay, so we have a title screen. Alright, we're go! Okay, so Tangle Tower. It is, I looked into this game a little bit more closely because at first glance I was like, oh no, is this going to be another kind of game like that? But I think it's far more emphasized just on simple, silly puzzles and Professor Layton style stuff than it is what would make me potentially uncomfortable. So I think we're fine. But Tangle Tower, the premise is there has been a murder. We have to investigate it and figure out who the culprit is. Phoenix Wright style. We're just not taking him to court. Admittedly, the court system in Phoenix Wright is butts anyway. Let's go ahead and start up. This would be I feel like alright to stream, but maybe not something I would play on my own, primarily because I find I always get stuck on these puzzles. And then I end up just playing the whole game through with a walkthrough, which I feel like if I'm just playing the whole game with a walkthrough, then I'm just gonna go watch somebody else play through the game. But I feel like playing it with a chat would help out considerably when I get, like, stuck real quick.
The ground's moist, but it's not muddy.
Thanks.
I wonder how often it rains here.
I mean, you're right next to the water.
I cannot believe how exciting this murder investigation is already.
It's a
Bird.
bird bath.
Sure is.
Is that just rainwater? Looks a little weird.
It's a bird bath.
The birds seem to like it.
They're even singing a little tune. Toot, 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 toot.
Please don't do that.
It's just a bird bath. It's a
It's a
boat.
little boat we used to cross the lake.
Sure is.
It's the only way on or off the island.
What a comforting thought.
What are these?
What are they?
Good question.
Wind chimes.
Really?
Silent wooden wind chimes.
Yep, definitely wind chimes.
You ready, Sally?
Grimoire, I've been standing here for 7.5 minutes.
I should have clicked on her. I didn't think that would actually make me go
Just
somewhere.
checking.
Do you have the map?
Yeah, but it's basically blank. Did you read the case file? What do you think?
I'm not sure yet. It's really not a lot to go on. Did you read it?
Yeah, I'll read it on the way to the crime scene.
Okay, so a lady died. She died while painting a picture. Spooky. I mean, she could have just been murdered and then take a little bit of the blood and put it on the knife in the painting.
So, who do you think did it?
Everyone.
Sally, you know full well we haven't met a single suspect yet. We haven't even been to the crime scene.
Still, I reckon I've got it all worked out.
They all did it. They were all in cahoots with each other. They were getting very tired of her singing. Okay, I got one person. It's a lady. Good question. An unusual mix of colors. Somebody dropped paint in the water. Whoa. Okay, we gotta start by clicking all the buttons. It's just settings. Okay, how about this one? This is a different one. Oh man, look at all of this. Yep, that's some towers. Sure is gardens. There's an egg.
It's a stone carving. Wonder how it got cracked.
It's stone. That happens.
I think it's supposed to look like that. It's an egg.
What a mushroom.
This is some garden.
Do the plants all look a little strange to you?
I mean, they're mushrooms.
It's a statue of some hideous, scaly, bipedal fish monster
Playing a harp.
playing
Eh?
a harp.
As they do.
Hang on a second.
Heck yeah, I'll look closer. I'll fall right on in.
This isn't just a regular statue, is it?
Nope, it's a puzzle statue.
Something tells me we're not gonna solve this just yet.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. 125 times 5 is 500... 625? 625 possible combinations if we wanted to brute force it. I mean, you can brute force it pretty quick, though.
Let's come back later. It must do something.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
Sure is a statue. Is that a Zora? How about this big face?
Spooky.
Look at his
What do you think
nose.
it's for?
Now, what does my category say R-Type? Because I didn't know what I was going to play. I wasn't confident that Spectre had suggested the game that we were going to play. And if I couldn't figure out what we were going to play, or if it would take too long to get ready, then I was just going to end up playing like OJ or something. So I didn't know what I was going to play. So let's go ahead and change that. Thanks for reminding me to change it. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. This is totally R-Type.
I think it's to scare away detectives.
It was the Bido. The Bido did it.
Is it working?
No.
Not at all.
It's full of the same weird water that was in the lake.
Any fish in there?
Paint water.
Not a single one. Although there is something in there.
Coin.
It's a cassette tape. Or it used to be.
Yeah, I don't know if we're using a cassette tape that's been in the water for that long. Yep, sure is. Don't mind me, I'm just gonna steal this.
It's a bandstand.
Sure is.
Bit small for a bandstand.
You know, get all the band that stand in there and they play their music. Why? This isn't a great location for that. Where's the people gonna be that are listening to the band?
It's a one-man bandstand.
There's like a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to say, too quiet?
It's not.
Yeah, it's appropriately quiet.
It's an appropriate amount of quiet.
Yeah, see, she gets it. I guess that's about all I can... How about this guy?
What animal is that?
Bird.
Hawk. Bear. Lizard.
Hawk bear.
Right, of course. A hawk bear lizard.
Perfect. Oh, there's some stones over here?
Some garden.
Do the plants all look a little
Okay,
strange?
heard that one already. What about you? What are you?
This is some garden.
Yep, same
Plants
thing.
all look a little strange.
Okay, moving on. What about that
Do you think he'll
face?
start to move if we try to go inside?
No, I think he'll just silently judge us.
Man, now I'm just gonna be silently judged.
Do you think he'll start to move?
Okay,
No.
same thing.
I think he'll just...
Is that an envelope?
It's been opened, but the letter's still in there. Let's read it.
Isn't that an invasion of someone's privacy?
Yeah, well, we're detectives.
No, definitely.
I like that he just straight up says, like, yeah, it is. Not gonna stop me. I like that. That was good. Okay, so the other sheet is missing, and the other sheet has a combination on it. Tangle twir.
What?
Oh, there's an O on the floor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right down there.
Tangle tour.
Twir.
Tangle twir.
Little bird feeders.
How do you know they're for birds?
I mean, what else are you feeding the squirrels?
Looks like someone
Pixies.
tried to chop it down, but then gave up.
Can you blame them?
Yeah, I mean, hey,
Ah, there's a heart engraved in the tree. I didn't know people actually did that.
PPFF.
what else we got? What's
Path
this?
leading towards the stone.
Okay, nothing important. But that O.
Oh.
What?
Oh.
Oh yeah. Tangle.
Twir.
How about you?
Why build a house here?
I'm sure they had their reasons.
How about kind of run out interesting things to click on? Got a
Should
bell?
we ring the doorbell?
Why would we not? It's a little melody.
How does that work? It's a bell.
Don't think it's locked.
Oh, that means we can just walk straight in, right?
I'm pretty sure that's the rule, yeah.
Okay, well, that's all I got. So, on we go. Oh, we could go inside, but what's
Let's head
this
to the
way?
crime scene first.
Dang it!
It's at the top of the west tower, I think.
Yeah, you know, what did that say again?
Ah, there's a heart. I didn't know people.
PPFF.
PPFF. Okay, so Freyfellow is an FF. We don't have a PP. I mean, we don't know anybody. But also was painting Florafellow, who's also an FF. We know two names, and they're both FFs. But we should be on the lookout for a PP. Wait, the Pointer family. Probably someone from the Pointers. Alright. In we go.
Sally, check those plants for clues.
Is soil a clue?
So I'm noticing right away that this is round and this is pointy. The fellows and the pointers? Okay.
A big letter F.
Of course. Who doesn't hang a giant banner of their initial in the lobby of their mansion?
I mean, if you had a mansion, wouldn't you?
This one has a big P.
That's probably important.
How very perceptive of you.
She's like almost not even trying, but she's too fed up to care.
It's a big glass tube filled with water.
There are weeds in there. And sand.
It's an aquarium?
Could be. Except there's nothing living in it. Anymore.
I like these two. I like these two a lot. I really like these two. I feel like I feel like the dude is my whimsy and the lady is my fed up with everything. I go back and forth between the two quite frequently. I have both of them within me.
Finally, we get to investigate a murder in a spooky mansion.
It's not that spooky, really.
Don't ruin this. A door.
Oh,
Sure
what's
is.
behind it?
And $10 from Platinum Venus. Thank you.
A room.
It's not locked.
Well, we've learned from previous experience that that means we can just go in.
What is that?
I think it's a family tree.
No, I want to see this crap. Okay. What do we got? Lord Fellow and Lady Fellow. Lord Pointer and Lady Pointer. So who are these Remingtons? Remingtons are apparently the tie between the two. And a couple people that are just outside the family. So who's the one that died? Was it Fiona? Hold up, I only have 2 names and I gotta go check to make sure what they are. Freya. Okay. Freya died, was painting Flora. You mean I don't get a copy of this? I gotta come back here every time I want to look at it? See, now I've lost track of what it was. I gotta go back and look again because I already forgot their names. Okay. Freya died. Flora was being painted. Freya died. Flora was being painted.
I think it's a family tree.
Freya died. Maybe it was Fiona and not Flora, and it's just a thing I can't read. Fiona was being painted, probably. Because I don't see a Flora anywhere. Okay, so I feel like given that she's kind of the center of this whole mess, I feel like Fiona was kind of a big name. Given that these are all I feel like people didn't like Freya. Or didn't like this offshoot family that came from Lord Fellow and Selena. Just given that, like, they have the shields for people not in the immediate family. So, like, it kind of goes with that. But then you have... It's a shield on top of the banner when they're, like, of blood. But they even have the Fellow name. But, like, by the time you get to Freya, that's, like, twice through, and the Fellow isn't even capitalized anymore. I feel like people didn't like Freya. Like, they didn't consider her part of the family. Whereas Fiona, I feel like, was... Everyone loved Fiona. Okay, so we have an FF and FF plus PP. So who carved their names in the side? That could have been... How many FFs do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? 6 FFs? How many PPs do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4? 4 PPs? I can't tell the gender of some of these. What is Poppy's gender? Maybe female? I don't know. Let's just go talk to some people. Maybe we'll learn more. Instead of me coming on and figuring out what's up. Anything else I can poke around with in here?
Finally, we get to
It's
invest.
not
Don't
bad.
ruin this.
Sally, check those plants for clues.
Is soil a clue?
Okay, I think that's about it, really. There's this plant up here.
Stairs.
They sure are. I kind of wanted to look into this plant being different from this plant, but what do I know?
Sally, check those plants for
Is soil a clue?
Alright, well, let's go somewhere. So we're going... up here? Yeah, up there. Can I go right here?
Let's head to the crime scene first. It's at the
I can
top
make
of
me
the
go up
west
there. I
tower.
can't even investigate the whole thing. Okay, fine. Okay, you are the one that was being painted. Hi.
Let's take a look at that painting first.
Shouldn't we introduce ourselves? There's a person here.
There it is. The unfinished portrait of Flora Fellow.
So, what? Freya was killed.
Hey, $10 in from Drazvin! Says, hello, Naka. Hope life is treating you well. I would like to put this towards Warframe. Thank you, Drazvin.
Looks that way.
I mean, oh no, I guess it's not done. There's a little bit over here. That's not, and a little bit up here, I guess. That's typically not how you paint, though? Like, you don't paint like a printer where you've just got, like, me. Like, you do one thing and then you do another.
I wonder if all of Freya's paintings are this creepy. Maybe it's just because she never got to finish it.
There's something wrong with the crime scene. And something really weird about the murder weapon.
We didn't find a murder weapon.
He's braining. We don't know the because yet. I mean, presumably, but we don't know Freya put it there. Yeah, I don't know what to put on this final one.
Flora's portrait is holding a knife tipped with blood because it stabbed Freya.
What?
Weird, huh?
You think Freya was stabbed by a painting?
Sure
Not by a
do.
woman from the painting, but by the painting itself.
Sure.
Freya was standing right up by the
Sounds
canvas
reasonable to
when she was
me.
killed. There's blood on the knife. It's the murder weapon.
Right, but it's not actually a knife. It can't stab.
See any other knives around here? Case
She's
closed.
gonna smack him.
And even if you were right, where does that leave us? A painting can't be a murder suspect.
Yes, I would like to continue playing. Can I talk to this lady now?
Flora Fellow?
Hey, sorry to barge in. I'm sure you're still in some distress.
We need to ask you a few questions, I'm afraid.
Did you witness the murder, Flora?
Nothing. What do we do?
Not sure. She's entitled to her silence, I suppose.
For now.
Is she mute?
Is there anything you'd like to tell us, Flora? I don't really know anything about you at all.
I think that's the way she likes it. We'll just have to ask other people about her.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, let's go ahead and get that check
Freya was painting your
mark.
portrait yesterday. Is that right?
Was this something you had planned with her ahead of time?
Was there something special about yesterday?
Did you talk to Freya at all while she was painting you?
She's not going to answer us, is she?
Nope. But at least we can say we tried.
Gotta check those check marks. Oh, a statement. I got another.
Flora, you were definitely in the room at the time of the murder. Surely you must have seen something? Can you tell me anything about what happened to Freya? She's acting pretty suspicious if you ask me.
I think that means she knows exactly what happened, but I don't know if she's like mute
How is
or
that
what.
possible?
Anyway, I think we're done here. Leave her be while I look at other stuff.
Freya's painting supplies.
Sure, man, she does not take good care of these. Yeah, and this one's a funky color. Oops. It's also a different shape. Like, these are all round. And this one is flat-sided. Different brand, maybe? Got a different graphic on it.
Supposedly, Freya was working on the painting when she was killed.
Who'd put this outline on the ground? That's a police thing. Have the police been here already?
Looks like she was still holding her paintbrush and palette when she fell.
Didn't even get a chance to clean her brush.
Hey, can we test that paint for blood? It's red. Can we do that?
Supposedly, Freya was working.
Yes,
Didn't
yes.
even get a chance to clean her brush.
Yes, yes. Hey, can I zoom in down here? Because it's hard to tell if this is the wood grain or if that's part of the paint moving. Because it looks like the paintbrush rolled right out of the red. Which means the paintbrush hit that before it rolled out of the way. Which means the paintbrush hit that and rolled out of the way before she hit the ground. But that may also just be the wood grain. Can I, like, zoom in on that? Alright, well, what else we got?
Was that a gramophone?
Sure is.
I think so. Except it's got a tape deck instead of a turntable.
It's also got a big crack down the middle.
Everything in this place is cracked. That's probably important.
What about the cassette tape?
Yeah, it sure is. Pink.
Also cracked.
Do you think it still works?
The gramophone? Yeah, we could give it a go.
Heck yeah, try it. You know what, sure. I'm not sure how this works, but it sure does.
It's piano music.
Time to go find a piano. Look, I just want to hear this through. Because it could be important. And then we'll see what's on the murky one. I mean, that was a funky sound, but that's honestly just kind of the sound of the end of a cassette. What's the murky one sound like? Nature? Toot.
Weird.
Toot.
It's someone humming a tune.
Okay, maybe the sound of it getting all crunchy was because it's cracked. Yeah, I think we're done here. How about this? How about the egg?
Is that an egg?
Sure is.
An egg with bird feet.
It's also made of gold and candy. $10 in from Spectre. Who's this Chalonaka? Put this towards a Rosen. No, I'm kidding. Put it towards Teslagrad. Very basic question. What's your favorite animal? Thank you, Spectre. Teslagrad. I know of Teslagrad. I've not played it, but it looked good. Looked like a good time. As for my favorite animal, hard to say. Koala, maybe? They're big and round and cute and fuzzy.
It's also covered in gemstones.
Yeah, paintbrush made a red trail on the floor. Like, I can see a red trail going like this far, but I can't tell if this whole thing is or if that's just wood grain.
What a completely ordinary object.
Oh yeah.
Container for something.
Those gems look like they come off.
I mean, clues! Heck yeah, clues! Oh, the clues just tell you where to go, though? No, they don't. They almost do, though. Okay, so we need purple there. We need the yellow diamond on the other side of that. So we need the green star on the long end. And the red square on the short end. Okay, that's those two. How about this round boy? We got a blue circle on the end of the round boy. And the purple guy on the short side of the round boy. Okay, so we got the weird guy here, so we need the red square on the bendy end. The red square on the bendy end. Blue circle on the not bendy end. Okay, so that should be... I think I've done all the big ones and this one. So there's just 2 left. Okay, there's just 2 left. So we need a purple one on either side of the straight one. That's you. So that one's good. So the only thing left is maybe that? Okay, so the green one is opposite the extendo. So that should be it. That should be done. Do I click the button?
No, that was it.
Hey, I did it.
Nice work. Did it unlock? What's in there?
Lunch money.
Nothing.
Nothing?
Well, I'm not leaving without a clue. An empty egg's a clue, right?
Yes. All right.
The outline of Freya Fellow. Looks like she fell onto her back. There's a single patch of blood, right in the middle. No real signs of a struggle.
Or is it red paint?
That's weird.
What?
Her feet were right up by the canvas,
Well, yeah,
So?
she was painting.
so she was probably standing really close to the canvas when she fell.
Let's check the case file again.
Yep, that's what I knew. Anything else we can take out of this room while we're here?
That's the only door in and out of the room.
And it's on the floor.
It's also on the floor.
Sure is. Guessing it's not supposed to be down there.
What if it just opens up to the floor below?
Half the room is a big open window.
I don't know if you can call it an open window. It's more like the sudden absence of wall.
Oh man,
At
eyeball.
the top of the tower, right?
I think so. Why?
Doesn't matter. It's nothing.
Afraid of heights, perhaps? What else we got? Paintings?
It's so dark back there.
Somehow, the sunlight doesn't seem to be making it very far into the room.
Okay, I think I've clicked on about all I can reasonably click on. Books?
A bunch of old books. Covered in dust now, but they look well read. A bunch of old books covered in dust
Yeah.
now, but they look...
How about this guy?
A little pot plant, balanced on the window ledge.
It's the only plant in the entire room.
Freya's painting supplies.
Yep, we already saw these. Alright, well, I'm out of ideas. We're gonna go talk to somebody else, I guess. We have options now! Like, going back outside. Oh, hey, somebody's here. What's up?
Wow. Nice cape.
You're not fellows or pointers. I'm sure I shall immediately regret asking. But who are you, and what is your business here?
I'm Sally, and this is my sidekick Grimoire.
A private detective, Grimoire.
Okay, I'm gonna pause because we got $5 in from Spectre. Says, reminder, Naka, you can present evidence and characters to suspects to get more information from them. Put this towards Barry Fencer Musashi. Thank you, Spectre. I will keep that in mind.
Really? You're a detective. If this is a joke, it's not a good one.
Who are you, anyway?
Private Detective Hawkshaw.
Oh, nice. Hawkshaw's a cooler name than Grimoire. Maybe I'll become her sidekick.
You're not on the Freya Fellow case, too, are you?
That is classified information between myself and my client. Clearly, this is something which eludes you. But a real detective refrains from handing out informations to persons unknown.
Oh, right.
Now, if you would, I have work to do.
Alright, you're a friendly one.
It's not in my interest to discuss personal details.
Even if you're one of the suspects in a murder?
Very well. Let us make a small exception. Ask.
Oh, what are you doing here?
I'm on a case at the behest of my client.
How long have you been at Tangle Tower?
133 hours. 5.5 days.
Who are you working for?
I am not at liberty to answer that. Now, I shall permit you one more question.
What crime are you...
How'd you get that scar? It's cool.
You really think so? As it happens, I completed an examination of Flora's room on the morning before the murder. I've been investigating every single room at Tangle Tower. Hers is one of the last on my list.
Did you find anything unusual?
Nothing but a thin layer of dust and an atmosphere of somber melancholy.
Was Flora in there at the time?
She spent the duration of my search staring up at the sky, out the open window. Didn't say a word, although I'm told this is the expected behavior.
What did you do after that?
I spent the early evening searching the library. It took longer than it should have. Fiona leaves that room in a permanent state of disarray.
Fiona was in the library too?
I expected her to make an appearance, but she did not.
And you stayed in the library the rest of the day?
Not quite. Towards the early evening, my examination of the library was unexpectedly disrupted. Sounds of running, wailing, shouting from several floors above. I vacated the library, but before I could begin my ascent, Professor Pointer appeared. He emerged from the Pointer staircase, crossed the hall, and begun up the fellow staircase. Our eyes met. He was breathless. Something had caused him great alarm. He told me to stay out of the way. I consented. I decided to return to my office in the stone square. As I was passing through the front door, Penelope called out from behind me. She was clutching the banister of the Pointer staircase with an apprehensive manner. She wished to know where Professor Pointer had gone. I told her what had transpired. Then, she too crossed the hall and disappeared up the fellow staircase. More so than at any moment prior, I felt like quite an intruder in the house. I took my leave, out towards the stone square. The grounds were silent. There were no signs of human life. Even the greenhouse was without its typical inhabitant. I noted that he, too, must be entangled in whatever was transpiring in Fellow Tower. An unremarkable hour passed before the gardener finally made his appearance. He spoke to me of what had occurred. His report was as clumsy and cumbersome as the man giving it.
Did he seem upset?
He was rattled. That much was clear, but sorrowful, mournful, I cannot say.
I don't know, once she started actually talking, she's alright. Okay, so, so what we got, that does not rule her out. I don't feel like she has a reason to yet, but that does not rule her out. Because she said she left the library, and then the first person she saw was the pointer person that came out here. She could have come down and then seen him, and then directed him up there. Or he directed himself there, I don't know exactly what the crap. But she was kind of alone in the library, so there's nothing saying she couldn't have come down instead, so we can't really cross her out. But we do have her sighted here pretty much immediately after the event. So anyway, back to what we were doing. Bench.
There's a metal plaque on the bench.
Is there a message engraved on it?
It says bench.
I think there was at one point, but someone scratched it off.
That's a friggin'
It's a
dragon?
sea serpent, turned into stone by a wizard.
If you say so.
Oh, of course.
What happened to its head?
Chopped off by an adventurer.
Beheaded. By the same wizard. A little bridge leading back to the gardens. Looks like it might be about to fall apart. Grimoire, you go first.
It's a big stone dais.
Biggest one I've ever seen. First one, too. A pointless little stone tower.
I don't know. Might be a good hiding place.
Want to play hide and seek?
I could be persuaded.
Oh, so that's the house. Okay, so we're like looking back at the house. What's
a
this?
giant glowing gemstone full of plants.
AKA a greenhouse.
You ever see a mushroom that big before?
Not in real life.
Wait, so what is...
It's Tangle Tower, or at least it's the mansion at the base of Tangle Tower. Is that a clock?
If it is, it's a clock with 4 faces.
Oh man,
I'm
puzzles.
guessing it doesn't tell the time.
So what does it do?
So each one of these, when you move it, moves the one adjacent to it in the opposite direction. Looks like this one is full of 3s, this one is full of 9s, this one is full of 12s, and... Is that a... I guess that's a 9. Maybe one's supposed to be a 6, and this one's supposed to be a 9. Oh! So if this is 6, then I need to make this actually a 6, and that's a 12. This needs to be actually on 9, and this needs to be actually on 3.
I got it.
I'm impressed. What's in the box?
I like how this friggin' lady's just standing right there going, what are you doing? With this thing that's at my feet.
A little tool thing? Looks like a telescope. But I'm not actually sure what it is.
A wooden trunk that opens up into a full desk.
Fancy.
I want one.
The look of distress. Okay, so aside from, like, talking to her and presenting everything that I own, I'm kind of out of things, so let's go heck over here. No.
Sally, don't move. We're being watched.
Yeah, I see him. He's a little too big to hide in the bushes. Is anyone going to say anything? Or shall we just stand around staring at each other?
Right, sorry.
Sorry.
That's better. I'm Sally. And the guy hiding behind me is Detective Grimoire. Who are you?
Fitzfellow, the gardener.
Mm-hmm. And why are you so tall?
I don't know.
Just ask him that?
You work here as the gardener.
I don't get paid to do it. It's just my area of interest.
What's the deal with the plants? They're all kinda weird.
Right. Did you see the lake?
That giant green and purple lake surrounding the entire house? Yeah, I clocked it.
The color is just a byproduct.
Of what? Poison?
It's not poisonous. Not to you.
What's this got to do with the plants?
The water controls all life, just like anywhere else on the planet. Clouds form, rain falls. The water grows the plants, animals eat the plants. Anything you've perceived as an irregularity is simply a result of this hydrological cycle.
Could you say that again, but like, condense it as if you were talking to a slightly stupid person?
Our lake water causes the unpredictable alteration of DNA, sometimes.
Alteration? Like mutation?
That'd be the official term. For us, it's normal. Just nature.
And you're the local expert on all this stuff?
No, I'm just the gardener.
It seems like you know more than you think, though, and you also didn't answer the question!
I was in my greenhouse, watering and weeding.
Sounds exciting.
Was anyone else around?
Not at first. Penelope came in a little later. She likes looking at the flowers, I think.
Did you speak to each other?
A little, not too much. We both left the greenhouse in the early afternoon. I went up to my room. Then I came back outside to weed the main gardens. Didn't see anyone else. After that, I went up to the garden outside my room.
And?
Let me guess. Watering and weeding.
Right.
Did anything happen to you yesterday, Fitz?
Maybe.
I was up in the rooftop garden. It was quiet. And then, it wasn't. I can't describe it. Could have been a scream, but it didn't sound human. We thought it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there.
We?
Poppy was with me. Did I not mention that? Flora's room was locked. That's normal. She usually locks it from the inside. I knocked on the door and shouted. Nobody responded. We became concerned.
You kicked the door down?
I did. Poppy and I went in. Freya was right there, laying on her back. Flora was there too, but I barely noticed her at first. Poppy left the room for a while. When she came back, she had her father with her, and Fifi too. Penelope arrived shortly after that, with Felix in tow. I thought that was odd. You don't normally see the two of them together. Felix took charge. There was nothing else I could do to help. I wanted to go back to my room, but I realized nobody had told Detective Hawkshaw anything. I found her pacing back and forth around the stone square. When I approached her, she snapped at me. I think she was annoyed about being made to wait outside so long. But when I told her about Freya, she fell silent.
Okay,
Fitz's
fair.
room is unlocked. It's up in the fellow tower.
This could be interesting.
Later. We'll get there eventually.
A little chart of, Actually, I have no idea what it's about.
I feel like this is a solution to another puzzle.
What do you make of it?
Not a whole lot.
Can I, like, take a picture of it? Hold up.
Chart of... Actually, I have no idea what it's about.
Can I click on it?
Kinda reminds me of a periodic table.
Greek letters, I think?
Yes.
Greek letters?
Kinda reminds me of a periodic table.
See, I do notice that they're numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, why is 7 down here? The rest of them kind of go in order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 is over here, and then 7? I feel like this is a
Not a whole lot.
solution to another puzzle.
This one's in a little pot.
Okay, that is definitely not edible.
It looks like a gemstone, don't you think?
Gem fruit. Hey, you know, the cool thing about, like, you can take pictures on the Switch. You know, the cool thing about doing on the PC is I can take screenshots. Because print screen is a button. I'm not too worried about that right now, though.
Hanging baskets. They're so high up.
To you, maybe.
You're only 2 inches taller than me.
2 inches makes all the difference.
Yeah, and then there's this guy who's like 8 feet taller than all of us.
It's bigger in here than I thought it would be.
I have 2 monitors, so so I have to crop it down. Look, Alt print screen. Print screen is your current window.
Tools. Used by a gardener. For gardening. Tools. Used by a gardening. Hanging baskets. They're so high up.
To you, maybe.
You're only
2 inches makes all.
Bug.
That's a handsome beetle. Looks like he might have magic powers.
I don't know, there's not a lot else going on in here.
It's glass, but I can't see through it.
Total oxymoron.
I am not.
He's not the brightest one around.
Is that fruit?
Too shiny to be fruit. I think it's glowing a little too.
Safe to eat, do you think?
I'm gonna say no.
Guessing nothing in here is.
Bags of soil.
It's so blue.
I feel like I want to ask this guy a lot of questions. Okay, so he was the first one that showed up. He showed up with the lady. I want to go find that lady. Can I get his testimony again? Do I, like, just have that somewhere? What's this button do? Alright. I'll worry about that later. Can I just, like, recheck his testimony? I think I have to talk to him again.
I was up in the rooftop garden.
Yes.
And then I can't describe it, but it didn't sound. We thought it was coming from Flora's tower. Poppy was with me. Did I not? Flora's room was locked. That's normal. She usually locks it from the inside. I knocked on the door and
You kicked the door down?
I did. Poppy and I went in. Flora was there too, but I barely noticed her at first. Poppy left the room for a while. When she came back, she had her father with her, and Fifi too.
Okay, so Fifi. So Poppy had to have encountered this dude in the left tower. And Fifi had to have already been in the left tower. So I don't know, maybe she like ran into her or something. And then while they were figuring out what the crap, he like ran up and encountered them. I want to go find Fifi. I have no idea which room would be Fifi's. Let's go up here and find out. That doesn't look like Fifi. Let's go somewhere else. Also no Fifi. You have to go through the main room to get here. That's Fifi, though. Okay, Fifi, what were you doing?
Curious. I would expect bacteria of that nature to thrive in these conditions.
Excuse me.
Taking all the environmental factors into account, there must be something I am still missing.
May I talk to you, miss?
She knows we're here. She just doesn't care.
I am a detective, and I need to talk.
Correction. You do not need to talk to me.
Oh no? How come?
Because I am not a suspect. I am completely innocent of any and all crimes.
Thanks for letting me know.
Speaking of which, you have now been at Tangle Tower for over 23 minutes. Surely you have already reached a sturdy hypothesis.
A hypothesis? About the murder?
Yeah, come on, Grimoire, hurry up.
My apologies. Unfortunately, protocol dictates I must at least meet all the suspects. And that includes you. So, could you tell me your name?
Fifi Fellow, microbiologist, inventor, innovator.
Alright, sounds good.
You will need to be more specific. Oneself cannot be summarized in a single response without doing one a great disservice.
Can you try?
Well, first of all, you're a fellow. So does that make you the daughter of...
Correct. My father and mother are named Flora and Felix, but you need not question either of them. It will only waste valuable time. Neither of them are capable of murder.
Thanks for the tip.
Fifi, you said you were a micro... something or other?
Microbiologist, but it is an insignificant label. My studies cannot be categorized in any one recognized field.
What made you want to become a scientist in the first place?
I harbor an intrinsic fascination with the microscopic. I constructed my first one at age 10.
Constructed a microscope?
Correct.
And what's that?
It's not
thing
hard.
that-
Tie a bunch of
Did you
lenses
make that
together.
too?
My eyesight began to deteriorate when I turned 12. Not satisfied with the eyeglasses prescribed to me, I designed this custom lens instead. It automatically adjusts based on the surrounding light conditions.
Does it glow red when you get angry?
No, but that would be most amusing.
And now she's thinking about how to do it.
What can you tell me about the murder?
What can you tell me about... Wait, that's what I'm supposed to ask you.
Yes, however, you were too slow.
You fancy yourself a detective too, Fifi?
I just need to know what happened.
Me too. So talk.
Fine. I knew ahead of time that Freya was going to be busy with her painting all day, so I had planned to spend the afternoon with Poppy. I was in the library all morning preparing the equipment for an experiment, only to find out that Poppy had made other plans and she was in fact planning to ignore me completely.
Oh.
So what did you do instead?
I locked myself in my room and cried.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Why?
I don't know, it just sounds kind of sad.
It is not unusual.
Oh. Good.
I was in my room. The lights were off and the door
Okay,
was
there's
locked.
your room. That makes
Someone
sense.
began banging on the door. I ignored it until the someone began shouting at me.
Probably
I
Poppy.
opened the door. Poppy came into my room. Her makeup was leaking. She told me Freya was dead. I did not believe it. I thought she was playing a trick on me, so I punched her in the face. She insisted that we go up to Flora's tower.
Appropriate
We left
response.
the room, and Poppy's father was waiting outside. He followed us upstairs. When I saw Freya lying on the floor, I was completely and utterly devastated. Then, I took a sample of the red paint on the unfinished painting. Poppy and I took the sample back downstairs to the library. We performed a test and found out that it was, in fact, blood.
You performed that scientific test immediately, even though you were feeling so upset?
Of course. Why would one affect the other?
I mean, fair.
Fifi's bedroom should be unlocked now.
Can't wait.
Okay, so that was actually pretty much what I expected that to be. So now what I'm wondering is... So when the event happened, they were in the place. And they heard it, and they were the first to investigate. Like, everybody was just in their rooms, though. So, given, like, the event happening, how much time would it take for the perpetrator to get beyond them, who were the first to hear and notice? And then they could have gotten out and gone anywhere. Like, there's nothing barring a path yet. There's nothing that I feel like needs to be investigated. Anyway, we're already here, so let's just stay here and kind of poke things.
It's an illustrated book about birds.
It's been left open. Looks like somebody was halfway through reading it.
Or it was left open for us to find.
Ever so slightly unnerving.
That sure is a bird. Hey, wait a minute. Wait. Look at that again.
It's been
Or it was left
ever so slightly unnerving.
You know, that feather looks an awful lot like a murder weapon. Alright, well, what else we got?
A chalkboard.
Is this a library or a classroom?
Whew, boy. Okay, hold up. Not ready for this one. Okay, so let's just take a brief look at figuring out what the heck makes sense to what. A good couple Greek letters are here that should not be here. This symbol up here has no business being here. Everything else just kind of looks like regular math. Yeah, chemical diagram up here. Kind of? Like, I don't know what this is. I mean, otherwise, most of these are disconnected from each other. This symbol is also a little weird. It looks like a limit symbol, but the limit symbol doesn't have the circle in the middle. Like, it looks like that's just the limit of f of z over x. I don't know what this 35 is doing down here. The rest of this is reasonably basic. A over x plus 7. It's kind of like an alpha, but sometimes you see alpha, sometimes you see a written as alpha. I mean, if you're doing limits, then having a graph like that makes sense. Phi down here for some reason. Like, nothing here really connects to anything worthwhile. On the left. Like, the only thing that jumps out at to me is this symbol is not a math symbol. Is it an A or a 2? Oh, that could be a 2. No, because they don't write their 2s with a loop. So this is an A. This part over here is probably the far more important part. But, oh man, there's just so much involved in this. Like, you have the 200 to 201, the E to F, the 5 to 6. They all go up by 1. But then when you go 5 down to 4, E down to D, that goes 200 down to 196. And then how does the 195 and 196... What does that have to do with being the 201? There's just too much here for me to put together. I'm going to wait until I see something that looks like it may even resemble this. I do see the A pointing to a question mark up here, which leads me to think that there is some kind of path that these things go to, and there may be something important over here. I don't know what, but there may be something important over here. Just some of the numbers could be important. Even the letters don't resemble the letters. Like, this A isn't that A. So, honestly, I have a hard time feeling like anything over here means anything at all important.
I'm not sure I learned anything from that.
We'll figure it out later. I'm sure it means something. I'll wait until later when maybe we have some more context.
Sure. Why not build a science lab in the corner of the library?
The search for new knowledge. The archiving of old knowledge. It's downright poetic.
Is that a snow globe?
Of sorts.
Hey, it's the thing.
Hey, look at that. It's a model of Tangle Tower. There's the lake and those weird mountains. What are you thinking?
That would make an amazing souvenir.
I mean, it would.
Hey, look at that. It's a model of... What do you
That
think?
would make an what's in those bottles?
I'm not sure. Soil samples?
Books about ancient history, I think?
These books are ancient history. I think they'd crumble into dust if I tried to pick them up.
Also, that whole bookcase fell over, and that's not safe.
Thanks.
Books about
These
ancient
books and
history.
things. Books about geography.
Skip. Books about insects.
Well, theoretically. There's not a single book on that shelf.
Huh.
Oh, that's fair. What about this one?
A book on the floor. Fundamental entomology.
I guess somebody dropped it.
What's entomology? What's entomology mean? Hey, Google. What's entomology? Study of insects.
Books about space.
They're relatively untouched.
Oh man, space. Well, I mean, she's way more enthusiastic about...
Books about space.
They're relatively untouched.
That's musty.
What exactly does that mean? What is must?
Must. You ask such stupid questions.
I mean, that's fair.
Nice. Books about birds.
The shelves are about half empty.
Oh, so you're a the shelves are half empty kind of person.
You knew this already.
Books about nature?
She is very much a the shelves are half empty kind of person.
Sure. Why not build a
The search is downright poetic.
So on one hand, I say, by comparison, is he a the shelves are half full kind of person? And no, I don't think he is. I think he's the kind of person who would argue for 10 minutes about, like, the definition of what it is and what it means. Okay, let's work our way back up over here. So, Freya's room.
Painting supplies. Painting supplies.
Sure is.
Freya's bear.
looks pretty depressed.
He's had a rough couple of days.
Got a
Just
spider.
little trinkets.
Let's leave them alone.
It's a fish, I think?
I think it looks more like a whale.
Fine, it's a whale.
Could also be a shark.
Fine, it's a shark.
Brushes, pencils.
They're clean, but they look pretty well used. That painting is really something.
Why would you want it looming over your bed like that?
Maybe Freya enjoyed the atmosphere it creates.
The atmosphere of chaos and oppression?
Hang on. There's a smaller version down by the floor.
It's a photograph.
So it was taped somewhere, and then it's pointing stuff out.
It's a little wooden box for paintbrushes.
To the casual observer, maybe.
Oh
They're
boy!
not real paintbrushes. looks like they're part of some kind of lock mechanism.
Oh boy, locks! Oh boy, now we also have a whole bunch of junk over here. Alright, so what do we got over here that we can work with? I mean, that looks like it goes there pretty cleanly, and I'm not really sure. I don't see any other pieces that would fit in that groove, so I'm reasonably confident in saying those two go together. This looks perfectly fit for that. Oh, you go here. You go there. You go there, you go there, and you go there. Alright, we did it. Now what did that do for us? Ah, think of the bits, Daisy. Yeah, so what does this mean exactly? What does this do for us? Hmm. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's green and blue, but there's also the fan and the slant. There's 2 greens and 2 blues, both of which are fans and slants. 2 fans, 2 slants. And we also have the 2 pointed ones, which are also... We also have 2 reds. So there's 2 reds, 2 greens, 2 blues, 2 fans, 2 slants, 2 points. Oh, and then there's the 3 handle and the 3... Okay, okay, okay. That's what the red and that's what the orange and the pink down here are. So... Okay, the far left one has an orange handle. The second one has green paint. The third one has pink handle and a fan shape. The fourth one has blue paint. The fifth one has the slant, and the sixth one we don't know anything about. This one technically fulfills the criteria.
Nothing.
Dang
There's
it.
one hint on those scraps of paper. It looks like a ripped-up jigsaw puzzle.
Because this is true. This is correct. Okay, this is correct, but... maybe not. Oh, the upper zone indicates height. Okay, so like the shortest one goes on the left, the tallest one goes on the right. Okay, that's a little different then. Okay, so obviously we need the shortest one to be on the far left with an orange handle. This one is pink with a fan, which actually could be either one of these. The tallest one goes on the farthest side. So that could be either of those two. So the shortest one with an orange handle. That has to be this one. So this one is 100% correct. The second one is green paint, which could be this one or this one. This one is pink and fan, which is correct. So these three are at least correct. This one is blue paint, which is correct. But we need the slant here. And then the tallest there.
There we go.
Aha!
Perfect. What was in the box?
Just a photograph. Well, most of a photograph.
Oh, look at him! I mean, that's Science Lady. I'm not sure who that is. Probably Artist Lady. So like they used to be good buds.
Freya's plants. They must not need sunlight?
Or they're fake plants.
Freya's plants. They must not... A pillow with a paw print pattern.
It's a cushion.
Yeah, but that doesn't alliterate. It's Freya's bed. A little bit messy.
It's a perfectly healthy amount of messy.
I mean, especially for an artist.
It's a little glass box.
I think it's a vivarium.
Come again?
Or whatever that is.
See the leaves and twigs in there? Might have been for keeping insects.
Not the kind of lamp I choose for my bedroom, but fair enough.
It's cool. Looks like old mining equipment or something.
Do you think this was always supposed to be a bedroom?
I don't know. It is kind of a weird shape.
Yeah, and there's exposed pipes and ventilation everywhere.
No windows either. Just little trinkets.
Let's leave them alone.
Brushes.
They're clean, but they...
There's no natural light in here at all.
I like it.
Even though we're halfway up a tower, someone's been tracking in mud from outside.
Okay, so who tracked in mud from outside? Like, who's been out? These two, really. Didn't she say something about having just investigated Freya's room or something, and then went to the library? Hey, you!
Sir? Can you hear me? I'm Private Detective Grimoire. I have some questions for you.
Grimoire. Good mysterious name. I'd rather like it. Felix Fellow at your beck and call.
I like this guy.
And, this is my colleague, Sally.
Yeah, that's a perfectly good name as well.
Thanks.
If you would, Mr. Fellow, we really need to ask you about the murder.
I must say I'm rather jealous of you two.
Oh yeah? Why's that?
Out here solving mysteries, exploring new places, uncovering secret rooms, hidden treasures. That's what life is all about.
Secret rooms?
Generally speaking, you know, that sort of thing.
I like this guy. He's alright.
So, Felix, what exactly do you do?
Is it not obvious? I'm an explorer. Explorer slash treasure hunter. Yes, well, best in the world.
We're talking like curse statues, spike pits.
It's a little more sophisticated than that. But I've certainly seen my share of danger, if that's what you're asking.
And, if I may ask, when did you retire?
You listen here. I may be between ventures right now, but it's simply not in my nature to stay in one place for too long. I go wherever the winds of destiny take me.
Don't you live here with your wife and daughter?
Yes, well, the fellow family has certain loyalties, and with Flora the way she is...
Nothing wrong with raising a family, Mr. Fellow.
Don't misunderstand me. Fiona and Flora are my entire world. They are the greatest treasure of all.
Uh-huh.
Why on earth?
Okay, let's just start asking questions. I wanted to, like, go look at the family tree and everything, but, like, let's actually talk to the guy
reason
first.
We're here.
Ah, right. Nasty business. Very unfortunate. I regret that I can't be of any help, but I wish you all the best in your investigation.
Hear that, Grimoire? We're done here. Let's go.
It's a simple question, Felix. I'm sure you're up to it.
Well, there's not much to tell. Mostly, I was in my room by myself, working on Flora's, working on a project.
Your room is quite close to Flora's tower. You didn't hear anything unusual?
What qualifies as unusual?
What have you got?
It was dusk. A feeling lingered in the air. Malevolent, perhaps. Uncertain, as life itself.
Abridged version, please.
Right, fine. I heard someone heading down the stairs, just outside my room.
It's probably the one lady.
Footsteps were calm, orderly, so I thought nothing of it. Shortly afterward, I heard a second set of footsteps, going the same way. This time I could tell just from the sound that something was wrong. So I looked out into the hallway. I got a glimpse of Poppy.
Okay, so that was Poppy, so who came by first?
Didn't know what to make of it, to be honest. I thought perhaps she'd had a disagreement with Fitz, as I know those two are close. So I looked into his room, just in case, but it was empty, as was the garden beyond his window.
Because they were upstairs.
Back in the hallway, I bumped into a very concerned-looking Penelope. She was heading up Fellow Tower to find Professor Pointer. So I
Because at this point, everybody was kind of crowding their way up.
room. Poor Freya was laying on the floor. Fiona, Poppy, Fitz, and Pointer were there already. Flora, too, of course. Soon enough, everyone else made their excuses and left.
Including you?
Not I. I stayed. Flora needed me.
Yeah, I can ask you about people, right?
Dearest Flora, a remarkable woman. Yes, been married over 20 years now.
You two still get on?
Of course. What a question.
She hasn't gone quiet on you.
It's true she has an independent streak. She's had it her whole life. She's the youngest of 3. Always something of a lone wolf, you know? Just the way she is.
Lone wolf is putting it lightly. She doesn't seem to want to talk to anyone.
She just likes time to herself, away from the company of other humans.
Other humans?
Well, yes, other people, you know.
I was really hoping to get some more information about her, but whatever.
massive conch shell. Do you think there's a little crab living inside?
I hope so.
Puffer fish?
Yes. It's also a lamp, for some reason.
It's Earth.
If Earth was made of paper and gave off a gentle pink light.
So the biggest thing that concerned me about what he said was that it was the orderly steps going down earlier.
Nice. A real treasure chest.
How do you know there's treasure in there?
Why else would it be locked? Plus, there's a treasure map hanging directly above it.
Yeah, I'll look at a treasure map.
What's the deal with that painting on the front?
Not sure. We should check that treasure map too.
Okay, so you're on one of the X's, you're looking at a tree with a dragon on one side and a rock on the other. So you have to pinpoint the location with these two in the direction you're looking with the last one. So, island, looking at a tree. Can this look in... No, it's only the cardinals. So, island, tree with a dragon on the left. Right there, that's it. So it's H6 looking west.
I'll come back.
No, no, no!
Nice.
How do you know?
Plus, there's a treasure map. I did it. What do I win?
Not bad. What was in the box?
More wooden models. These are a little different to the one on the desk.
Oh, it's them! Look at them! Got the whole family and a chicken. This red paint looks like the same red paint that was being used with, the lady's other paints. Like, this was the red from that set.
A little hand-painted statue.
How can you tell it's hand-painted?
Well, the paints are right there on the desk. Also, I mean, no offense, but you can just tell.
Oh, and these are all of those paints. All the angular paints.
The entire room is made of wood.
So why did they swap
Oh, it's not
reds?
just made of wood. I think it's the actual hull of a ship. What is it?
He's an imp.
What does he do?
Well, if you tell too many lies, he appears at the end of your bed in the middle of the night.
Oh. It's a barometer, but it's broken.
I've never seen a barometer that wasn't broken.
A pencil drawing of a mountain on a moonlit night.
Mood.
With his
An
face.
old wooden mask.
Probably cursed.
Yeah. Honest.
A hammock. It's kind of worn out.
I would politely describe it as lived in. A little mirror.
Definitely cursed.
It's not cursed. Not everything is cursed.
Or is it?
Shelf junk. The entire room is
Oh,
made
it's
of
not
it.
just the actual hull.
It's a magic lamp. Can we summon the genie?
If we get really stuck, sure.
It's a drinking horn.
Is it full of ale? Or mead, maybe?
Right now, it's just full of dust.
Oh. A map with a dotted line and an X marked on it.
That's a very boring way to describe a treasure map.
More maps?
No, they're just blank.
Oh.
This guy has not gone on nearly enough adventures. What are all of these things?
The floor is covered in wood shavings.
Oh, maybe he like whittles these himself.
The entire room is made of
Oh, it's not
wood.
just the actual.
You get a good view of the lake from here.
Okay, I think we're good in there for now. So this room was recently unlocked.
It's a little handmade card. Someone's drawn a heart on the front. Inside it says, "To Fitz, from PP."
Ah, there you go. There's the FF and PP.
That poor plant.
Looks pretty healthy to me.
Healthy, but sad. I think it would rather be outside.
An empty glass and an empty plate.
Looking at it is making me want to cry.
Why?
I don't know. Hello.
Not hidden very well, is it?
Doesn't need to be. It's locked.
The heck kind of lock is this? No, it's not. You can see a keyhole on the front of it.
Sort of.
Okay, so I can move these around. Okay, so they do connect in different ways. So this shape was that shape is that. How about this shape up top here? I don't think I can complete that shape up top. So what about this shape? And then this shape is just going to be that one. Can you put them together in this order at all? Doesn't look like it. No, it looks like it has to be put together in this way.
That's done it.
Oh, it was that easy? Okay.
Neat. Anything in there?
Yeah, it's wrapped in a cloth. Hold on. Huh, that's kind of ominous.
PPFF. Look, these two just really like each other, okay?
It's locked, but it leads outside.
Yeah, it's the outdoor
I thought
garden.
we were halfway up a tower.
We are.
What's that thing by the handle?
Move the tiles into their correct slots. This is...
Nothing.
The
Still,
tiles have all got that same sun symbol on them.
those moon symbols in the slots.
Maybe they're connected, but also not connected.
Okay, so we're gonna have to find the solution somewhere.
Let's come back once we...
Because there's just not any information on that.
There's someone outside the window.
Something outside the window. It's probably just a rock.
You sure? Huh. Neither of these lights have an actual light bulb.
They're just decorative.
Oh, so decorative. Oh, wow.
What?
It's a big empty space.
Sure is.
Quit sulking. Not every room is going to be full of clues. Quit sulking. Not every room is going to be full of clues. Quit sulking. Not every room is going to be full of clues.
Well, I guess that's about it for that one. So we can't get outside yet.
Crystal chandeliers. Extra fancy.
I don't know. They just seem old-fashioned to me. Plus, they're kind of dusty.
Fifi's got something pinned up here.
What is all this?
Hmm. Hmm. I mean, okay, so apparently this wasn't that long ago because it's got us on it. These are also all the exact same equations that we saw before. The exact same numbers. Like, it's all the same. But otherwise, these are, I'm guessing, relationships, because that's us connected to her. That's these two here who seem to be in a relationship. We have him and her who are in a relationship. And what's left then is these three, which is weird. Because it seems like these two are, but then where does the detective tie to him? I would say that would mean that he's the one who hired the detective for something, or that the detective is investigating something about him. But given the nature of all these other connections...
Arrows connecting all the different suspects.
They're not labeled, though.
Yeah, they're completely meaningless.
Who is that?
No idea. That's gotta be Flora. Who's that?
Not sure.
Who's that?
Not sure. Looks like Fitz.
And that's you, Sally.
What? I do not look like that, do I?
I mean, vaguely.
It's Detective Hawkshaw.
I think that's supposed to be Felix. Is that supposed to be me? Why do I look so angry?
Why do you look so
It's
angry?
just the face you make when you're thinking.
I mean...
It does make you wonder, though. When did Fifi draw all this?
Yeah, because it had to have been after we got here.
Did you notice who isn't on here?
Freya?
Mm-hmm. And Fifi herself.
Also fair. What else we got in here?
Stuff.
A new suspect! Don't think you can get out being questioned just because you're a bear.
I'm innocent, I promise.
Save it for the judge.
That they play off of each other, though.
I don't know what that drink is, but I bet it's 99% sugar.
I'd read you the ingredients, but there's nothing written on the can.
That's even worse.
Scientific
Probably not
formulas.
legal.
Probably. I'll openly admit I have no idea what any of it means. It looks like a microscope. A big one.
Can I touch it? I'm not sure this is a microscope.
It sure is something. So that one makes stuff smaller, that one makes stuff bigger. That makes stuff really big. And that makes stuff super big. Which, I mean, makes sense. We have 3 pluses, 2 pluses, 1 plus, and a minus. Oh, so we have to make the shape of a key. So obviously we want this to be larger. Do we want it to be 3 pluses larger, though? Maybe just 2 pluses larger. I think we're gonna need the minus on that big boy there on the right. Three pluses probably gonna be on you. No, not quite. Maybe we are putting the 3 pluses on him. Yeah, just get the 1 plus on you, get you there, and then the minus on you.
No, that was it.
Yeah!
Nice work.
I mean, there were 4 distinct sections of it.
Sounds like it unlocked.
Yeah, it's built on top of a little metal box. There's a book in here.
Can I open it? Can I open it? Probably just something to go ask about, I guess.
It's a magnifying glass. A big one.
Because I've done nothing to actually ask people about stuff.
How come you don't have one of those?
Why? Because I'm a detective? Should I start smoking a pipe too?
Yes.
You couldn't pull off a pipe.
He absolutely could, but it would have to be like a bubble pipe.
What's that big book on the desk?
Looks like something Fifi's been writing.
Is it a clue?
I hope not. It's just a bunch of notes about her microbiology experiments.
I don't know, maybe important.
What's that big book?
Looks like
Mrs.
it's just a bunch of notes about her.
A pretty ornate window with a great view of the lake.
We're supposed to be looking for clues, not assessing the real estate value.
And over here, you'll see the owners use sheets of paper to block out all that unnecessary natural light. A simple trick, but it really transforms the space. The stuff Fifi's thrown away.
You gonna rummage through the trash can?
No, that is quite beneath me, thank you.
I give it 5 minutes before you're in there.
I wanted it to cut to him immediately being in there. Kind of running out of stuff to check on.
Boxes of stuff.
That's a whole lot of books.
Yeah, I think we've done about all we're gonna do in here. Alright, so... we have not yet been up the east tower. Oh, the piano. There was the tape with the music on it.
Are you a ghost?
Sally! That's rude!
Maybe.
Well, she is a ghost.
It may come as a disappointment, but I am alive.
Ah,
That makes you a suspect, I'm afraid.
I know.
what's your name?
My name is Poppy. I'm a pointer. And a pianist.
We'll need to ask you a few questions about Freya.
I know.
Hey, you're pretty good.
All in the wrist. And 13 years of dedicated practice.
That'll do it too.
I'm just me. There's nothing to know.
How are you related to the other pointers?
My father is Percival Pointer. The professor spends most of his time hidden away in his tower. Barely speaks to anyone these days. Especially not the fellows.
Do you get on with the fellows?
2 of them. Fifi and Freya are my closest friends. We all turned 19 last year.
Do people ever leave Tangle Tower? I don't mean to be rude. It's just, if you're 19...
You don't have to answer that, Poppy.
It's a fair question. I'd like to move away. Definitely. Fifi, Freya, and I would often talk about it, argue about it. Freya wanted to leave, but Fifi... things are more complicated for her.
What about now?
After what happened, I really don't want to stay here much longer.
Yeah, I can understand that.
3.5 hours of piano practice, soon as I wake up. Same as always.
3.5. Does that not hurt your hands?
Sure.
And you do this in the music room?
No, I prefer to practice in my room. When I make mistakes, I like to make them in private.
What did you do after that?
I was supposed to meet Fifi in the library, but I totally forgot. When I finally got down there, she'd already gone. I checked her bedroom, but it was locked.
Was Fifi not in there?
No idea. She keeps her door locked either way. So I went back upstairs and out into the moonlight garden.
The what?
The little garden on the roof outside my room.
Was it just you up there?
No. Fitz came outside after a while. His room's on the other side. He's been teaching me about flowers.
So, did you talk to him?
Not really.
You ignored each other.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, they're just up there making out or something.
Fitz and I were up in the moonlight garden most of the afternoon. Then we heard this sound. Lasted about 3 seconds. I've been trying to decide how to describe it, but I'm struggling. It was like something drilling into a piece of metal, but different. Worse. I was pretty sure it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there to check. Her door was locked. Nobody was answering.
And this is just gonna
I
be
knew
friggin'
Freya
everything
and
we
Flora
know
weren't
already.
supposed to be in there. So I made Fitz kick down the door. I went inside. Freya was lying on the floor.
Flora was in the room too?
Yeah. I think she realized what had happened at the same moment I did. I didn't know what to do. So I ran downstairs to get Fifi. Her door was still locked, but I knocked and shouted at her. Eventually she let me in. The lights were off, but I could see she'd already been crying. I told her what had happened. She didn't believe me. She got angry. First time I've ever seen her angry. I dragged her out into the hall. My father was there too, for some reason. The 3 of us went back up to Flora's tower. Then Felix arrived. He had Penny with him. Fifi had this idea. She wanted to do some kind of scientific test. She took me down to the library. We were in there about 15 minutes. After she was done, she went back upstairs and I went back to my room.
That's it?
That's it.
That sounds about right. Like, Fifi said a few things that she didn't, but for the most part, that sounds about right.
All right. Poppy's bedroom is unlocked.
I wonder what's in there. Sheet music. It's handwritten.
That's a lot of notes. Looks pretty difficult.
Probably why they're on the floor.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Oh, whatever it is, it's playing a little trumpet.
Well, it is the music room. He's got to practice.
What's
I mean,
with all
that's
the
true.
broken glass?
Hmm.
Are they paper lanterns?
Whatever they are, I like them. It's like a little parade of floating spirits.
Who plays the violin, I wonder?
It's pretty dusty, so I'm guessing nobody.
1 old wooden bookcase.
Yep.
25 dry old books.
Mm-hmm.
4 lit candles.
Yeah.
Am I the only one seeing the problem?
Not a lot to click on in here, really.
It's one of those big pianos with the open lids.
Don't touch it.
Why not?
Might be haunted.
Everything in here is haunted. Yeah, not a lot in here to click on. Like, we clicked on the broken glass.
Alright, you got your wish.
Spooky murder mansion?
Spooky murder mansion.
Smells like a forest in here. It's a globe.
For globing.
What else do you use a globe for?
Who plays the violin, I wonder?
So I'm guessing nobody.
Yeah, not a lot else there. Oh yeah, there's a lady we haven't talked to yet. Let's take a
out
look
that
around.
butterfly.
Looks evil.
Wow, judgmental.
Oh, it's probably evil.
The little writing desk. It's kind of cute.
There's nothing written in the book, although someone's torn a page out of the middle.
Oh, and we were looking at the book full of birds. Yeah, we were looking at the book full of birds earlier, so that may have something to do with this.
A rather magnificent bush. Somewhat cruelly confined to a stone pot.
There's a letter P carved into the side.
What's with those little windows down there?
I think they're there for draining rainwater.
Oh.
I don't like mirrors. They steal your soul.
How do you get your hair so symmetrical without using a mirror?
I do it by weight. I can feel if one side is heavier than the other.
Fair?
Bird diagrams. Hand painted.
They're beautiful. Someone really knows their stuff. They're bird cages, but the birds are coming and going freely.
Is that a metaphor?
Oh, it totally is. They're bird cages, but it totally is.
Does this count as being outdoors?
Yeah. No. Doesn't matter.
An especially fancy cage.
And it's home to 3 especially fancy birds.
Look at them birds. I think that's about it.
Oh, just beautiful. What?
Thank you for the bits, Ace Fisher.
Huh?
Sort of a delicate jade, but with a little seafoam green, is that right?
Sorry?
Your hair, dear! Which shade do you use? It's lovely. And that shape.
You're really pushing the envelope.
Oh, thanks. I do what I can to offset Grimoire's beige on brown ensemble.
Detectives don't need to be brightly colored. We prefer to blend into the background.
Oh, you're the detective? Delightful. Penny Pointer, pleasure.
Is that short for Penelope?
Officially, yes, but I never can be bothered with all 4 syllables of it. Penelope sounds a little ostentatious coming out of the mouth, don't you think?
Sure. Yeah.
Are you a bird?
20-something, Aquarius, love to travel, and nearly all of my friends are birds.
Travel? Where to?
Anywhere at all, as long as it has species worth studying. Ornithology, they call it. I call it the only thing I've ever been good at.
And have you studied the birds here at Tangle Tower?
But of course! Where else do you think I developed my love of the field? No matter where I go, I always find myself coming home to Tangle Tower.
Because of the birds.
Oh, no, because of him! Silly to admit, but I suppose I can't bear for us to be apart.
Who are you talking about?
Oh, don't you know? My fiancé, dear Fitz. He's not really the traveling type, you see.
Fitz Fellow.
The very one.
You're engaged to a member of the Fellow family? That's interesting.
I'm not especially interested in whatever tedious feuding goes on between our two families. Fitz and I find it much easier to stay out of it altogether.
Fitz? That's problems.
We can get into Penny's room now.
Now, like, right now?
No, I'm not done talking to her.
I awoke early and headed down into the greenhouse to see Fitz. He's always there, crack of dawn, every morning like clockwork.
How come?
It's where he's happiest. That and he has a great deal of work to do every day, watering, pruning, mulching, whatever that is.
Do you help him with the work in the greenhouse?
Oh, no. I wouldn't dream of it. I'd probably break something.
So, you stayed with Fitz the whole day?
No. In the early afternoon, he went back inside. Rather suddenly, as it happens.
Did he say why?
He didn't. Probably just a touch of heat stroke, the poor dear. He's more delicate than you'd think.
What did you do after that?
Let's see. I returned to the aviary to feed my birds.
And how many birds are you responsible for?
Officially 4, but in truth it's more like 400.
Can they not feed themselves?
Of course, and they often do. But I think they just like the company. As do I.
I feel bad for this lady.
Sometime in the evening, I left the aviary and headed back towards my room. But in the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down the stairs. He was muttering something. Seemed a bit upset, the poor dear. I followed him down, but the grand hall was empty by the time I got there. Empty aside from Detective Hawkshaw, who was loitering over by the library. I don't know what it was, but she looked a little lost. I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the Fellow Tower. I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path. For some reason, he was coming out of Fitz's bedroom. He looked rather lost, too. I told him I was looking for Uncle. He suggested we look up in Flora's tower room. We could see from the hallway. The door was off its hinges. I knew then something was terribly wrong. A moment later, we were gazing down on the body of poor Freya. Uncle Pointer was there. Fitz, too. Standing over in the corner with Fifi and Poppy.
What about Flora?
Of course, silent as ever. Uncle suggested we should leave. Give the others some space, you know. So he and I both returned to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
Well, that's... Again, that sounds right. If I remember, Felix did go over into Fitz's room, I think. Alright, well, we still got plenty more crap to explore, so let's go keep poking around.
It's a birdhouse.
Are those real birds?
Nope.
They're wooden.
They're using up all the perches. What if a real bird wanted to use it?
Okay, I don't feel like I have the information to do this just yet. Or I feel like maybe I have the information, but I don't have it on me.
Reset the puzzle?
Why would they give you a reset button if it mattered at all? This puzzle has all the information in it? It may be color theory crap, and man, I'm bad at colors. Like, okay, we got green and, I don't know, white? We'll make this weird, like, off-white kind of thing? No, but then white needs to be over here, because white doesn't combine with anything else. So... green and blue. Green and blue is like purple or something. This would make more sense for this to be like that.
Nope.
There must be some logic, something to do with those white lines.
Yellow and blue is green?
No, that was it.
Oh, there we go.
Nice work.
I almost had it.
Did the door open? What's in there?
Now I'll get her.
That's some flower.
There's something weird about it. It just feels out of place.
Yeah, it is kind of out of place, not gonna lie. Having flowers here.
Looks like nature invited itself in. Rude. Looks like nature. Rude.
So I like how nature invited itself in, and Penny was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna hang my stuff off of this. That's cool. Oh wait, this is... okay, Penny's room. Got it.
A little bedtime reading?
Let's see. Romance novels, detective novels, and
What?
This one appears to be both.
Nice.
A little bit of everything.
A little tea set. Looks recently used.
One of the cups has tea in it.
What's in the other one?
Birdseed.
I mean, yeah.
Penny's books. Mostly novels.
Traveling cases.
Empty. All of them.
Ever get the feeling you're being watched?
The mannequins don't have eyes, though.
That's not a comforting sentence. Ever get the feeling that's not...
I think that's about it for what we can do in here.
This is the fanciest room so far.
Too fancy.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Okay, that's about it for that. We still got 2 more rooms to look into. Okay, yeah, this is way more Poppy's room.
It's an octopus.
No, it's not. It has 6 legs, not 8.
It's an injured octopus.
Don't say it.
Sextopus.
Sheet music.
It's only a few notes. I'd barely even call that music.
Yeah, it's been framed though. Must be important for some reason.
That's a puzzle is what it is.
There's a name for this kind of piano. You know, these ones that stand upright.
An upright piano?
It's a metronome. For keeping time.
Oh boy, puzzles.
Ticking. Is it a bomb?
Yes.
It's supposed to be ticking. Not sure what those symbols are, though.
Can I grab anything?
I did it. What do I win?
Yeah, random luck!
Not bad. What happened?
Little hatch unlocked in the back.
Anything in there?
Mm-hmm. It's a photograph. Part of a photograph.
Oh hey, that's the other half of that other one. So was this? Yeah, that's Poppy.
There's something about that pink cassette tape.
So the cassette tape was piano music made by Poppy.
Something suspicious.
Let's ask Poppy about it.
Yeah, so what would it be? Maybe like... Maybe like she used to be really good friends with, what was her name, Freya? But like something happened to split her off from them?
Oh, thank goodness, there are 7 lit candles. Wouldn't want it to be dark in here. Various handmade posters.
What do you
Yeah.
think those symbols mean?
It's the all-seeing eye.
Hopefully, nothing. That is the bed of a vampire.
I thought vampires slept in coffins.
This is a vampire who needs firm support for their lower back.
More handwritten sheet music.
Look, not every vampire can get away with sleeping in a coffin, okay?
Just a bunch of clothes on the floor. Nothing weird about that.
To you.
Anything in the wardrobe?
Dresses mostly. I never realized there were so many shades of black.
And yet, here we are.
It is most definitely turned off. Empty. A single red rose. How very traditional.
Yeah, weird.
Anything in the drawers?
Nothing you need to know about.
I think that's about it for this room.
Gloomy.
But roomy.
Alright, final room.
Shh, listen. Do you hear them? The stars. They're whispering. So quiet, and yet
You're a weirdo,
so
ain't you?
Loud.
What are they whispering about? Are they spreading rumors about us?
I shouldn't think they concern themselves with such insignificance.
She's about to
We
punch out a
are
star.
but specks of dust, you and I.
Mm-hmm. Could this speck of dust start by telling me his name?
You find yourself standing in the astronomy tower of one Professor Percival Pointer.
Seems like this tower belongs to the Pointers, and the other one belongs to the Fellows.
Well observed, my dear. Tangle Tower is something of a duality, as it happens. Meaningless boundaries, really. They exist only in our minds.
Helpful.
You're a weirdo.
Me? Not much to say. Strictly speaking, I'm the current head of the Pointer family. And of course, father to my precious Poppy.
And a professional astronomer?
Oh no, that's just a little hobby. I mean, yes, I've studied the stars for over 35 years, published 17 books.
Just a little hobby.
Sounds like you're quite well known. You must bring in a good amount of money.
Oh dear me, no. My field of research has never yielded any kind of stable financial return, nor would I expect it to. I am nothing but a humble interpreter for the cosmos, working to translate its message so that I may share it with the world.
Cool. Tell the Cosmos I say hi.
I mean, honestly, researchers aren't like crazy rich. Mostly they need to go out and ask other people for money, and the other people give them money so they can do their research. Like, they don't make a ton of money on their own. That's just kind of how that goes, I'm afraid.
The day began as any other, with blissful, unremarkable routine. I took my usual morning walk around the gardens. Fresh air does wonders for the mind.
Did you see anyone else?
Penelope and Fitz were in the greenhouse together. I didn't bother them, of course. I sat for a while besides the pond in the garden. It's a favorite spot of mine. Eventually, I returned to my tower and buried myself in my studies for the afternoon.
Did you use your telescope yesterday?
Once the stars began to appear, naturally.
For how long?
I can't say. I've been known to lose hours at my telescope.
Did you see anything?
No actual discoveries, if that's what you mean.
So you were all alone up in the astronomy tower. Must have been a while before you found out what had happened to Freya.
Quite. Normally, I would be the last to find out about such a thing. But a curious tug of fate led me towards the fellow tower later that evening. I was at my telescope for the majority of the evening, but at one point I returned to my desk to look something up in a reference book. I couldn't find the book I wanted, so I figured Fiona must have borrowed it. I left my tower and headed down towards the Grand Hall. I spotted Detective Hawkshaw coming out of the library. She looked impatient and slightly frustrated.
Same as ever then?
Quite. I passed her by and went upstairs to Fiona's room. The door was locked, but I could hear shouting coming from inside. I recognized Fiona's voice as well as the voice of my own daughter. I had no desire to invade their privacy by eavesdropping, so I waited for them to finish and come out into the hall. Before I could ask about the book, Poppy grabbed my hand and took me upstairs along with Fiona. It was apparent that both of them had already been crying about something. We went up to Flora's tower. Freya was laying on her back, right in the middle of the room. Flora and Fitz were already there. They both looked stoic as ever. Felix and Penny arrived shortly after we did, and then Fiona went downstairs with Poppy for some reason. I quickly decided that I should leave also. I took Penelope with me, and we both went back to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
Why did you leave so quickly? Wasn't there anything you could have done to help?
Don't take this the wrong way, but the whole ordeal is fellow family business. I'm quite sure they don't need me getting in the way at a time like that.
I mean, fair. He also pretty much, we've talked to everybody at this point, and pretty much everything everybody's said has at least lined up.
That's all the statements.
Let's go over them all.
You know, I've always wanted one of those.
A mechanical solar system? What would you do with it?
I would look at it.
Wait a minute. Earth in the middle. Sun on the outside.
That isn't right.
How old is this thing?
Oh, you can make shapes with the shadows. Does the moon do anything? Yes.
Nothing.
So there are two ways to move the shadows. Rotate the planets, and rotate the sun and moon.
I guess that's wrong.
I think you just need to get the shadows to line up with the shape on the base.
Oh, I hadn't even been paying attention to that. I was just hecking around. Okay, that's pretty easy.
Got it.
I'm impressed. Did you hear that? Something unlocked.
There's a little hatch underneath? What's in there?
A bunch of paper. Looks like somebody's research.
So who's interested in bugs? So golden beetle, I know AU is the chemical symbol for gold. Also a 4 for some reason. I don't know who's interested in bugs. The bookcase with bugs on it was empty in the library.
Trinkets.
They're clearly gizmos.
The bell jar. It's empty.
What do people normally keep in bell jars?
Other than bells, you mean?
There's something kinda disappointing about this room. I just expected a bit more from an astronomy tower.
Oh, does it not compare to all the other astronomy towers you've been to? Trinkets.
They're clearly gizmo.
Yeah, it's too cloudy to see any stars right now.
It's also daytime.
It's a chart of the solar system. Which planet are you from, Sally? It's a chart of the solar system. Which? It's full of tea.
I would have expected her to just answer. I would have expected her to, like, answer straight, like, Saturn or something.
Criminal.
A picture frame.
With no picture.
It's tidier than my desk. Oh, the notebook is untouched. It's completely blank.
So, even the most well-used notebooks start off blank.
It's tidier than my desk.
So, even the most well-used notebook.
Well, I think that's about it.
Pretty.
Yep.
It's tidier than my desk.
So, even the most well-used.
Yep, I think that's about it for this place now. So we've been pretty much everywhere. We do not have access to this room. We can prod her for something. We can review down here. It is getting late, and I don't know if I... It is getting late, and I don't know if I want to call it now before we get more involved in stage 2 of the investigation. Puzzle in Poppy's room? No, not that one. Poppy's room. Poppy's room. I did solve this one. Check out the door. Oh, over here.
The glass door leads out into a garden. Somehow.
There's a little mechanism by the handle.
Because that's this bad boy. Alright, so yeah, we can do this one now, and that'll get us access to that. So, everybody remember where the crap is.
Something happened.
That must be it. And the door's still locked.
I still feel like we made some sort of progress.
Yeah, because we gotta go over to the other one.
Didn't we solve?
We did, but the door...
Okay, so it's boom, boom, boom right there.
It's locked.
I thought we were...
We are.
What's that thing by the handle?
Boom, 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 boom.
It made a noise.
I guess that was right. Finally, it's open.
Whatever's on the other side better be worth it.
Alright, brand new room. Dude, look at this guy with his headphones.
It's another little statue, doing a really bad job of hiding in the bushes.
He's playing a lute this time.
He's also wearing headphones.
Well, they're not part of the statue. And they're not headphones. They're earmuffs.
Okay.
That's one big dragonfly.
Or one very small dragon. Ah, a little water feature.
It's making me sleepy.
Wonder how it's hooked up.
Giant stone frog.
Ah, he's got his tongue out like he's catching snowflakes.
Except those aren't snowflakes. They're feathers.
Hmm. So we got the yellow-green. We got the purple. But we don't have the red. We're short a red bird.
A little pond.
It looks really, really deep for some reason. See those metal bars around the edges too?
Oh yeah. What do you suppose they're for?
Nothing anymore. Looks like somebody broke them and then never bothered to fix it.
It's a rose bush, growing on a little patch of bluish soil. Apart from a couple of loose petals on one side, the whole thing looks very well cared for.
The roses are bright red too.
Now, aren't roses normally that color?
Exactly.
Oh. That's actually important. Because nothing here looks... None of the plants here look normal.
More egg statues.
I don't get it. Why eggs?
Well, either they have some special significance, or the sculptor was just really lazy.
What do you mean?
An egg has got to be the easiest shape to make.
Oh good. A bridge. I'm glad to know there's a way to get across that tiny, tiny pond.
Not all bridges are about getting across stuff.
Go, go, go!
Running out of stuff to check.
More egg statues.
I don't get it. Why?
Well, artist, an egg has got to be the easy.
Stone pillars, or what's left of them. Trees, on a roof.
In a garden.
In a garden, on a roof.
Alright, feeling like that's about everything. So we can go back and prod her. Otherwise, we need to, like... Yeah, let's go prod her, I guess. What's this suspicion thing? Weren't we just supposed to ask her a question? I forget what of. Was the ripped photo? No.
I need to confirm something with you, Poppy.
Confirm away.
What can you tell us about this cassette tape? Is it yours?
It belongs to Freya. She liked to have music playing while she was painting, you know.
And do you know what kind of music is on this tape?
No idea. Acid jazz?
It's piano music. Sounds an awful lot like your music, to be honest.
Sure it doesn't belong to you?
Why are we even talking about this? Cassette tapes have been redundant for a good few years now.
The tape was found at the crime scene. It was in the gramophone.
It's not mine. I'd never own anything like that.
Why not?
Not my color.
I mean, fair.
You used to like these colors.
Ridiculous.
We need a clue to compare with the cassette tape. Something that proves Poppy used to like these colors.
Well, that's an easy one, because we got this right here.
Let's take a closer look at this.
But it wasn't found in the garden. There we go.
The pink cassette tape found at
did
the
it.
crime scene matches the pink cassette player used by Poppy in this old photo.
That is not me.
Yeah, it is. I'll prove it.
Oh, I don't know about this one, actually. What am I getting? What am I grabbing? I don't have any proof that that's her. Other than this.
You look a little different, but Fifi and Freya are pretty recognizable. It's clearly a photo of you with your two best friends. Why'd you tear it up? And then hide it?
I think the answer is pretty straightforward. Poppy hates Fifi and Freya now.
You sure about that?
Not entirely. I think the answer is pretty straightforward.
I mean, I don't think it proves crap about being a murderer.
Poppy doesn't want to look like that anymore.
That's it. Makes this whole thing seem kind of irrelevant.
Maybe. It depends on the reason.
The reason she doesn't want to look like that anymore?
The passage of time is a powerful thing.
Hold on. This means that pink cassette tape does belong to you, Poppy.
It used to. I recorded some piano music onto it and gave it to Freya as a gift. Years ago.
Freya could have easily been listening to this tape at the exact moment she was killed. There's gotta be a connection between the tape, the gramophone, and the murder.
There's one other thing I want to know. How did it get that crack down the middle?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I got no idea either. Anyway, we did that. Okay, cool. So at this point, we still need more information, but we've generally done a lot of running around and figuring stuff out. There's a couple puzzles left that we don't yet have the information for. But right now, other than maybe something with Poppy, and it seems as though Duderson here is cheating on Lady up here with Lady here, which, there's probably going to be a room in here. Isn't there a room in here? I think somebody said there was a room in there. I could have sworn I remembered somebody being in a room in the middle. Maybe that's late game stuff. Who knows? Alright, so we don't know what's going on with her, but aside from that, which we don't have any immediate clues to, we've at least talked to everybody and figured everything out. There's some weird relationship stuff going on, but nothing that ties back to this lady. I feel like where we're going from here is going back and getting more information. Because I have not actually presented any, like, people or items to anybody yet. And that's a ton of information we can get about most people. Or from a lot of people about a lot of things. So, we still have our work cut out for us.
I'm still not sure.
Should we take another look?
Oh, they're not even letting... Okay, so I officially do not have the solution to this yet because they're not even letting me try to solve it.
Let's come back later.
So yeah, mostly I think at this point we're just running around and collecting more information. We at least have an idea of what happened, though. What went down, what kind of the lay of the land is. So from here, we've just got to actually dive into it. And start solving a murder. But with that said, it is late, so I'm gonna go ahead and get some sleep. I think now's a good cutoff point, too, before we go into a deep dive into the plot, now that we kind of have some idea of what happened and what's going on. So, diving for information. Calling it here, though, for now. Could we review first? I mean, I reviewed about as best I can. Like, we don't really know what happened. We know that Duderson here heard footsteps leave this room in an orderly way, and then that's when, like, everybody started piling in because they started hearing stuff. Oh, review first at the question mark. Okay. Sure.
That's all the statements collected. Let's run through them all to see if anything doesn't add up.
To see if anyone's been lying.
That too.
Fitz and I were up in the Moonlight Garden most of the afternoon. Then we heard this sound. It lasted about 3 seconds.
We thought it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there.
Her door was locked. Nobody was answering. So I made Fitz kick down the door.
Poppy and I went in. Freya was right there, laying on her back.
I left my tower and headed down towards the Grand Hall.
But in the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down the stairs.
I vacated the library, but before I could begin my ascent, Professor Pointer appeared.
I didn't know what to do. So I ran downstairs to get Fifi.
I heard someone heading down the stairs. They're just outside my room.
Someone began banging on the door. I ignored it until the someone began shouting at me.
Eventually, she let me in.
I spotted Detective Hawkshaw coming out of the library.
He emerged from the Pointer staircase, crossed the hall, and begun up the fellow staircase. As I was passing through the front door, Penelope called out from behind me. I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the fellow tower.
I told her what had happened. She didn't believe me. She got angry.
I thought she was playing a trick on me, so I punched her in the face.
I recognized Fiona's voice as well as the voice of my own daughter.
We left the room, and Poppy's father was waiting outside. He followed us upstairs.
I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path.
Back in the hallway, I bumped into a very concerned-looking Penelope. She was heading up Fellow Tower to find Professor Pointer, so I escorted her.
Poppy left the room for a while. When she came back, she had her father with her, and Fifi too.
Felix and Penny arrived shortly after we did.
A moment later, we were gazing down on the body of poor Freya.
Then, I took a sample of the red paint on the unfinished painting.
She took me down to the library. We were in there about 15 minutes.
I quickly decided that I should leave also. I took Penelope with me, and we both went back to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
I wanted to go back to my room, but I realized nobody had told Detective Hawkshaw anything.
An unremarkable hour passed before the gardener finally made his appearance.
I think she was annoyed about being made to wait outside so long. But when I told her about Freya, she fell silent.
That's disappointing.
What is?
All the statements line up with each other.
They don't just line up. Some of them even seem to specifically confirm each other.
That's an interesting note. Which means people could be covering for each other. I wanted to go talk to this guy again. There's just one little detail that I keep forgetting about.
It was dusk. A feeling lingered in the air. Malevolent? Perhaps.
Abridged version, please.
Right. Fine. I heard someone heading down the stairs. Just outside my room.
This is important.
The footsteps were calm, orderly, so I thought nothing of it. Shortly afterward, I heard a second set of footsteps, going the same way. This time I could tell just from the sound that something was wrong. So I looked out into the hallway. I got a glimpse of Poppy disappearing down the staircase to the floor below. Didn't know what to make of it, to be honest. I thought perhaps she'd had a disagreement with Fitz, as I know those two are close. So I looked into his room, just in case, but it was empty, as was the garden beyond his window. Back in the hallway, I bumped into a very concerned-looking Penelope. She was heading up Fellow Tower to find Professor Pointer, so I escorted her. We went into Flora's room. Poor Freya was laying...
He was in Fitz's room for a long time.
We're there already. Flora too, of course. Soon enough, everyone else made their excuses and left.
Including you?
Not I. I stayed. Flora needed me.
Because, like, that was... Poppy went down. And that's, as soon as she went down, that's when he went over here. And then the whole time that Poppy's down here, arguing, eventually getting to go in, getting into an argument over everything, meeting up with the other guy, this guy who was over here, and figuring out all of their crap and going up. And then they passed by, like they did all of that and passed by before he came out of this room. So not only are there no immediate contradictions, so there are no holes and nobody's immediately lying. As was suggested, it seems as though people are covering for each other. So, for one, people could be covering for each other. For 2, I still think it's real weird that this guy was over in these rooms for that long. I feel like this pass-through is important, too. Which, on one hand, that gets covered, because Fitz and, Poppy? I think it's Poppy. Because Fitz and Poppy were here? But... like, that's a way to get from one side to the other, without going the whole way around. Yeah, like, it's weird because it's complicated. This whole area complicates the mess, but it also means that, like, even though this guy was over here all friggin' day, he still could have gotten over and around. There's also a lot going on between her, and her. There's a bunch going on there, and then at the same time, we've got her, and her, or her, and him, all got something going on. And then, like, what's going on with her down here? What's she even investigating, and why is she here? And what's going on with this lady up here who just doesn't talk? Yeah, and he's the only one who mentions those first footsteps that go down. Which they seem to start up top and go all the way down, just given his testimony. But that was early enough that we don't know when that could have been.
Towards the early evening, my examination of the library was unexpectedly disrupted. Sounds of running, wailing, shouting from... As it happens, I completed an examination of Flora's room on the morning before the murder. I've been investigating every single room at Tangle Tower. Hers was one of the last on my list.
Did you find anything unusual?
Nothing but a thin layer of dust and an atmosphere of somber melancholy.
Was Flora in there at the time?
She spent the duration of my search staring up at the sky, out the open window. Didn't say a word, although I'm told this is the expected behavior.
What did you do after that?
I spent the early evening searching the library. It took longer than it should have. Fiona leaves that room in a permanent state of disarray.
Fiona was in the library too?
I expected her to make an appearance, but she did not.
And you stayed in the library the rest of the day?
Not quite.
So whose room is this? This is Freya's room. So this room is Flora's tower. This is technically Flora's room, which was the final room that she examined. So that makes sense. That it lines up with this guy's testimony, I guess. That she was examining up here, finished that before she went down here to the library. And then that's before things started happening otherwise. But what that could very well mean is that she was there when things happened. But then what about that sound they heard? They rushed up almost immediately, and she was down here in the library for a long time. Well, we can bat around the theory bush all day, but I think our next step is just sitting down and doing some actual hard detective work. So, that is true. A lot of cracked stuff would make sense for hearing a lot of cracked sounds. And there was that sound that the cassette makes at the end. That sounds kind of horrible. So the sound they heard may have been the end of the tape. Cassette tape didn't make a sound loud enough for that. Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, it was playing through the gramophone. Beetle makes a loud sound. Anyway, we can bat around the theory bush all day, but I think our next goal is to actually sit down and do some leg work. But that will have to wait until another time. I'm going to, since this was put back on the wheel, I'm going to go ahead and leave it on the wheel, since this was covering for a different game. So, maybe this will get run again. And hopefully, if it does, I'll remember what happened. But I'm going to go ahead and head out. I guess we can go ahead and re-wheel the wheel and see what we're playing next week. Alright, wheel. Tell me what we are playing. East 1. That's gonna be a lot of pain. Alright, until next week, everybody. I'm gonna play some East 1. It's gonna be a good time. In the meantime, though, thank y'all for hanging out. Thank y'all for keeping me company, especially when I sat down feeling kind of iffy at the start of this, but I feel a lot better now, especially after seeing these two idiots interact with each other and the world. It's been a good time. Now, I'm going to go sleep until Sunday. Good night, everybody.